The Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister confirms the speculation of early elections. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Thursday, February 22. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. Residents of Antigua and Barbuda were on Thursday put on notice that they will have to go to the polls to elect a new government within a matter of weeks. Prime Minister Gaston Brown made the announcement in the lower house of parliament in what he said would be the last in the life of his government, sitting before the next general election is held, barring any extenuating circumstances. The announcement came less than 4 years after the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party took office. The next poll is not constitutionally due until next year.
I hear a number of individuals on the radio proclaiming to understand my behavior, and based on my behavior, they're pretty sure the elections will not be called before November, December of this year. Well, I want to say to those individuals that they need to disabuse their minds of any such notion, because the reality is the elections will be in a matter of weeks. And this sitting, unless there are any extenuating circumstances, shall be the last sitting of the lower house until the next general elections.
The Prime Minister was speaking as he tabled the Boundaries Commission Majority Report, which did not propose any changes to the constituency boundaries. The commissioners said any changes at this time would likely result in a disruption of the process. Meanwhile, the Antigua and Barbuda Electoral Commission is getting itself into gear to make sure it's ready for whenever the election bell is rung. Andy Liebert of ABS News reports.
According to Chairman of the Commission, Nathaniel Paddy James, the wheels were long turning in getting the team ready. He says a week's training has begun for returning officers, and ballot papers, ink, seals, and the ballot boxes are already secured and ready for use.
The training started last night. I was there and opened the training session yesterday evening, and it will run until Friday. And having trained those returning officers, they in turn will train the clerks, which we already have, just to select them. But we have already secured a number of persons who, from whom we will have a complement of registration clerk and other workers. So I would say we are pretty much on our way to any eventuality in respect of this matter at this juncture.
Registration is ongoing, and newly qualified voters may have a small window to get on the voters list, depending on when the Prime Minister decides to call the general election.
The Electoral Commission chairman also disclosed that Barbudans will have to cast their ballots in Antigua. James says there will be one voting place for them on the mainland. The decision was taken because of the prevailing circumstances resulting from Hurricane Irma, which ravaged Barbuda last September. While some Barbudans have returned to the sister isle, many of them remain in Antigua. And still on the political front in Antigua, opposition leader Baldwin Spencer said his goodbyes to the House of Representatives on Thursday. Following the 2014 election, he said he would not be running for office again. And now that Parliament has been dissolved, he won't be returning to the House. The former two-term Prime Minister during the United Progressive Party's tenure thanked the people for allowing him to serve. He noted that although he will be taking his leave from the lower house of Parliament, he will still be making contributions to the country in whatever way possible.
So long as the Almighty God gives me breath, I will continue to show an interest in the development of Antigua and Barbuda I will continue to do everything I can to assist, whether it's in St. John's Rural West or wherever in Antigua and Barbuda. I will be there for the people of this country.
And just to make one correction here, the Parliament of Antigua and Barbuda has not been officially dissolved. What happened today was that the Prime Minister Gaston Brown, announced that this would be the last time that the Parliament would be sitting, but there was no official dissolution of the Parliament of Antigua and Barbuda. Moving now over to St. Kitts and Nevis, members of the main opposition St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party and supporters held a protest during Wednesday's sitting of Parliament to take a stand against what they describe as the dictatorial actions of the controversial Speaker Michael Perkins over the past 3 years. Members of the opposition have accused the Speaker of stifling democracy. They also pointed to what they say is the high-handedness and abuse of the National Assembly by Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, noting that he convened a session of Parliament with no public business down for debate on the order paper. The demonstrators also highlighted incidents in which opposition parliamentarians were prevented from speaking and were outspoken about a decision by the Speaker to unilaterally suspend the legislator from Nevis, Congress Maynard, for 10 days. Law enforcement officials in Trinidad and Tobago say they're investigating several cases of terrorism financing. Inspector Avashing Singh of the Financial Investigations Branch of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service made the disclosure at Wednesday's weekly police press briefing. We get more in this CNC3 news report.
Now, arguments are to and fro as to whether or not there is a terror cell or radical terrorists in TNT. But the fact is, the state has reason to suspect persons in this country of financing terrorism.
You are working on certain cases involving terrorist financing?
There are several matters on the investigation, yes.
Inspector Avinash Singh of the Financial Intelligence Branch of the TDPS says they receive information from the Financial Intelligence Unit of the Finance Ministry.
To date, the FIB has charged a total of 17 persons for money laundering offenses, a total of 90 charges.
In short, the FIU collects and analyzes financial intelligence and information. They pass on any suspected money laundering or terrorist financing activities to the FIB, which does the investigations and lays charges. Inspector Singh says there's always room for improvement.
We need to ensure that a thorough investigation is done. Because we have to seek information from third parties, namely banks, financial institutions, and other places, it takes a while to get that information.
But his statement comes hours after the Attorney General piloted several amendments to existing legislation.
In Trinidad and Tobago, we are not immune from the scourge of terrorism, from its associated linkage to the financing of terrorism.
The police service deems this a mere coincidence. According to the Financial Intelligence Unit, from October 2016 to September 2017, 46 suspected cases of terrorism finances were detected. They were either attempted or completed.
Still to come in Caribbean Newsline, Jamaica's corruption perception rankings improves. The details of that story and more after the break. Do stay with us.
Come, experience cricket action like you have never seen it before at the Super 50 Cricket Festival 2018. 43 matches, Antigua and Barbados, 10 teams, an epic 50-over regional battle, a massive showcase of Caribbean cuisine, the crowning of the Super 50 Cup champion, and one big after party. Calling all cricket fans January 30 to February 24. Come for the action, stay for the vibes. Get your tickets now on the ticketing app, and for more details, go to windiescricket.com.
asking, you know, will anything change? Will this, you know, these public lynchings stop?
We're on a collision course. And what happened in Ferguson, what happened in Baltimore, is going to happen again and again, because Ferguson and Baltimore were the first. The conditions that caused black people to come into contact, you talk about capitalism and so forth.
Jamaica's rankings on the 2017 Corruption Perception Index, the CPI, has improved. The country has moved up 15 places over last year on the latest CPI, which was released on Wednesday by Transparency International. But Executive Director of National Integrity Action, Professor Trevor Munro, says the gains could easily be eroded if delays in the full appointment of a Chief Justice are prolonged. He said Jamaica's score is now on par with the Americas and marginally above the global average.
Perception Index from 38 to 44 on a scale of 0 to 100, and a jump upwards by some 15 places from number 83 of 176 countries in 2016 to number 68 of 180 countries in 2017. From significantly below the average scores in both the Americas and globally in 2016, Jamaica's 2017 score is now on par with the Americas and marginally above the global average. NIA calls on stakeholders to ensure that the hard-won integrity in Jamaica's electoral administration is not undermined, and moreover, to advocate the enactment of the Code of Political Conduct from being a gentleman's agreement into a statute, a process initiated in 2010 and now needing to be carried to fruition, particularly, ladies and gentlemen, to outlaw and punish the corrupt misuse of public funds for partisan electoral purposes by any administration.
In 25th place, Barbados is perceived as the least corrupt among English-speaking countries in the Caribbean. Haiti has suspended Oxfam operations as it investigates claims of sexual misconduct by charity staff in the aftermath of the 2010 earthquake. According to Haiti's Minister of Planning and External Cooperation, Oxfam made a serious error by failing to inform the Haitian authorities of the allegations. He added that a decision on Oxfam's right to operate in the country will be made in about 2 months. 7 Oxfam members of staff left the charity in 2011 following the organization's own investigation into whether staff hired prostitutes. Oxfam denied a cover-up, but its handling of the scandal is being investigated by the Charity Commission. Oxfam Great Britain Chief Executive Mark Goldring told MPs earlier this week he was sorry for the damage done to the people of Haiti and to the wider efforts of aid workers. He said 26 claims of sexual misconduct had been made since the scandal broke. 2 days after Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro announced the launch of his country's digital currency, the Petro, the Caribbean is being urged to test the effectiveness and efficiency of digital currencies. The advice has come from Vice President of Enterprise Integrity and Sales BIT Inc., Roland Haggins. Haggins, who was speaking at a lecture organized by the Open Campus of the University of the West Indies and the Barbados Central Bank, said the concept of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology already has traction in the region. And he said countries should share the industry knowledge with each other as they go about testing the system.
I know Jamaica is very keen to test blockchain technology. The Deputy Governor, Livingston Morrison, he said to me that Jamaica has an initiative to digitize Jamaica. This is coming from the government. And if we kind of think about digitizing a country, you can think of massive efficiencies that you can have. So in a world with all the globalization that we have and so forth, digitizing and using innovation to improve our lives, to promote things like financial inclusion, can have a lot of benefits. Similarly, the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, he's already put a roadmap in place for testing blockchain technology to improve the lives of the people in the jurisdiction that he governs. So I think this is very positive, forward-thinking from governments in the region. You probably heard as well that Montserrat is now officially going to launch and pilot and test mobile money in their country.
Haggins says there are numerous benefits to central bank issuing digital currencies, such as more profits for the banks.
You also have increased security. You also have increased auditability. You solve the interoperability problem of mobile money providers not having a single currency. You also have efficiency, lower costs, quicker and more secure ways of transacting and settling. And you can promote financial inclusion. Because of the 2 billion people currently classified as being impoverished and without access to banking, you'd be surprised the number of them that have smartphones. So a central bank digital currency would allow them to be able to make and receive payments, especially for micro, small, and medium-sized businesses.
But Haggins also warned against any attempt by governments to tax the blockchain industry and cryptocurrencies.
This is a new technology. If you tax this heavily or if you tax it, you're going to stifle it, right? So my suggestion is the same way with the offshore industry, we provided tax exemptions and tax efficiency. We do this with the cryptocurrency markets. We provide those tax efficiencies and build them into legislation. That way, we will be kind of like, I mean, I don't want to use this term in a negative way, but a cryptocurrency haven.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, Windward Islands volcanoes hit the regional Super 50's highest total. We'll be right back with the details of that story and more. Stay with us.
In general, but it's not a problem. If you are talking in general aspects. But if journalists like Javier or me or others start to put names, I mean, it's not just governors, it's this governor, it's not just the police, it's this chief of the police. When we start to put name by name, publish name by name.
Now, as far as your music is concerned, I put that on everything. Where was the motivation or the backstory behind that?
Put that on everything is just like, being an independent artist is a lot of different struggles. Just being a woman, a lot of different struggles.
I can imagine.
Yeah, growing up in a single-parent household was definitely a big, big struggle. So I just kind of felt like I just wanted to put all my emotions into that record and just kind of say, I put that on everything. They gave me nothing, but,
And add some water to create a slurry. Now add your seasoned pork to this curry mixture and give it a good mix. You want all the curry flavors and the jeera especially to soak into the meat. And you just want it to reduce and you'll see the pork starting to stick to the bottom of the pan, and that's what you want. As it starts sticking to the bottom of the pan, add some hot water to cover it.
And cricket tops our Thursday sports segment. Guyana Jaguars have their work cut out for them to secure their spot in the finals of the regional Super 50. And that's after Windward Islands volcanoes put on the tournament's highest total of 286 for 7 in the first innings of the second semi-final in Antigua. Tyrone Theophil was instrumental in setting up the total with a superb knock of 107 from 104 balls. And middle order batsman Kavim Hodge scored a half century. Off spinner Ralmal Lewis captured 3 wickets and was the pick of the bowling for Guyana Jaguars. Here are the highlights.
The Volcanoes were very brisk in the early goings of their batting effort. Devon Smith in particular was very good. Charles had to run a ball just under that inside edge on from Romario Shepherd. Devon Smith continued on his way for a while, striking the ball nicely. There was a missed opportunity off the bat of Theophil. Romario Shepherd putting down what should have been an easy catch, and shortly after that, Devon Smith went.
Good catch by the old guy. Theophil continued with some lofty blows. It's another lofty blow as well. He was brilliant today. Kurt Edwards, dismissal very soft. He will be disappointed with that. Easy cut them both. But Theophile continued. Then Hodge got into the act. Theophile, that was a big one. Theophile getting an educated edge as well. He was brilliant. Theophile is maiden. Let's say 100 as well. Well played. 50 for Hodge. Brought it up in good style, good nick. He was bold. Then well bowled by Himraj. Hodge continued. Hodge going for the big one. Good catch in the deep by Permal. Kato came in and hit one humongous six. He fell right after. Catch again. Good judgment in the deep by Permal.
A little flurry of wickets towards the end. John was run out. Some brilliant work by Lewis. But Mayer's a powerful striker of the ball continued to strike some good blows. He had a little bit of fortune as well, being caught off a no ball of the bowling of Paul Wince. Guyana Jaguars didn't establish themselves in the field. A little bit of innovation from Shillingford, but he swung heartily towards the end, but could not do much after that. Barely got back onto ball in that last over. Well bowled by Shepherd.
Well, the second innings is in progress. That's this match between Guyana Jaguars and Windward Islands Volcanoes. And we're going to just take a minute of that match as we have Guyana at the crease right now.
In his mind and his execution wasn't the same.
Well bowled. Good line, good length. He has the protection as well. Trying to draw a lure. Tej Shantapal into a fault shot. And has a wonderful face painting. He has the Trinidad colors on. I'm sorry, son. The only Trinis in the house is Darren Ganga. And Ian Bishop, the senior of the two.
Hey. Punched away. His timing is immaculate. Saw him play one before off the legs. Tej Narayan Chandapal.
And that was, as we see the score there now, 12 for 1 after 2.2 overs. Well, meantime, Barbados Pride captain Craig Brathwaite finally struck form with a patient 100 as the regional Super 50 title holders made light work of Kent Spitfires late Wednesday night to surge into the final of the tournament. Opting for first knock in the opening day-night semi-final at Coolidge Cricket Ground, Pride emerged from a slow start to rally to 263 for 3 of their 50 overs. They were anchored by Brathwaite's unbeaten 105 from 136 deliveries, but propelled by an aggressive 81 of 73 balls from the fluent Ruston Chase. Left-handed opener Omar Phillips weighed in with a breezy 62, which was his maiden regional one-day half-century. In reply, Kent were forced to navigate a series of rain interruptions, leaving them with a revised target of 230 off 43 overs. But that proved a mountain to climb, and they ended on 216 for 8. And with a 13-run defeat on the Duckworth-Lewis system. Sean Dixon top scored with 51, his second successive half-century, while Adam Roos struck 45 and Callum Haggett 31. Leg spinner Hayden Walsh Jr. with figures of 2 for 45 and left-arm seamer Dominic Drakes on 2 for 49 made key strikes, while Brathwaite produced a stingy 10-over spell which cost just 37 runs to keep the English county in check. Over now to the Cayman Islands, where the national cricket team will be leaving for Buenos Aires to do battle with the host Argentina, as well as Bermuda in a Tri-Nation series from February 26th to March 5th. Cricket on the island has become under heavy scrutiny since the territory ended the ICC World Cricket League Division 5 tournaments in 8th place. Back then, a former national cricketer slammed the team, saying they lacked international experience. But in this report from Cayman 27's Jordan Aminis, we hear that the squad is confident about silencing their critics in Argentina.
We have a good blend of experience and youth. We got some new guys coming in as well that would be a good experience for them coming in, and we're looking forward to putting a good performance in Cayman and showing everyone what we can do.
With only 2 teams advancing to additional play in the ICC's T20 series, cricket captain Ramon Seeley says Cayman is prepared to do just that starting Monday.
Started training in December. We've been working a lot of fielding, a lot of batting, just what we want to take into Argentina, and I feel like if we take the matches out here and use that, what we've been doing in training, when we get to Argentina, it'll be a lot easier for us.
Vice Captain Alessandro Morris says this squad has been rejuvenated.
We're excited about this tournament. Preparations have gone well so far. There is a buzz back in Cayman cricket now, which is causing us to want to go there and perform very well.
And with the start of Cayman's domestic T20 season, Morris says the added in-game play has made Cayman's national team that much stronger.
A lot of teams are a bit stronger now. We're getting good turnouts in the games and stuff. So right now I believe it's good preparation for us. Intense cricket, good quality T20 cricket. So we're looking forward to this tournament.
But after a winless tour in South Africa that saw local cricket supporters scrutinize the team's performance, both captains say Cayman cricket is ready to prove everyone wrong.
Know that we're going there to fight hard and play well and try to win for Cayman. And so we're just looking forward to the cricket community and Cayman at large supporters.
Whenever I put on the national colors, it's a sense of pride, and I want to go there and do my best for my country.
It's another hill to climb for a team looking to gain respect on and off the field.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Again, the major developments of this day. Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown confirms speculation of early elections, announcing that residents will go to the polls in a matter of weeks. And in sport, Windward Islands Volcanoes hit the regional Super 50's highest total, giving Guyana Jaguars a tough time to secure their spot in the finals. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, log on to CanadaNews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and do have yourselves a good night.